Hey everyone, it's always a good sign that we live in prosperous and peaceful times when we have people coming up with absolutely insane ideas that are treated as if they have a chance of becoming real. And it's even better if it's an idea that just yields huge money loss. Because even then, there will always be people that are happy to fund it, no matter how dumb it is, or if there's even a chance that they'll get their money back. And I think today, I've just witnessed the biggest case of that with this freak of a cruise ship that's in design of a turtle. And by now, with the footage in the background, you're either in band A, this probably won't work, or B, this could never work. So the only real purpose this thing has is just being a stillborn, but even less, because it only exists in CGI videos and horrible SketchUps. And trust me, no matter what angle you look at this from, it's just not good.
Pangeos is an $8 billion, 650-meter wide, 600-meter long Terayacht, a gigastructure, or I guess terastructure, capable of hosting an entire city. Not long ago, this thing was all over the internet, getting caught up in a full 72-hour hype cycle. But this project, aside from being hilariously stupid on pretty much every level, as we'll see, also represents something quite sinister. So the Pangeos Terayacht is a yacht/floating city. As long as under city, we mean like 500 people or something. And it's shaped like a turtle. Why?
Yeah.
No idea. It's essentially a big floating park surrounded by...
Well, if it's a city in the middle of nowhere, on the ocean, what country does it belong to? Would that be just like an actual corporate city that belongs to no nation? That'd be badass.
The inside of the ship and the flippers, I guess, are filled with villas and apartment buildings that look suspiciously like the ones in Surviving Mars. I actually have to commend the Pangeos team. They blessed us with a metric ton of sketches and CGI visualizations.
So I want to say now, from all this beautiful imagery, I can tell that it was doomed to fail, because if a living city in the middle of the ocean was going to work, it has to be like the most Soviet-looking miserable city on a ship ever. There's no way people could afford in this like place. Like already that looks like $500,000 to pay to live in like every year.
Building this thing. Indeed, how will this thing be built? It's quite a conundrum, but don't you worry, the Pangeos team has you covered. We can.
Well, how much fuel would this burn every day? We're gonna find out.
The odd firms in any unique project. Wow, look at all these companies taking part in the... None of the below brands are now involved yet in the project. Oh, that's unfortunate. On their website, they have these bizarre renders of a dry dock in the middle of the sea? No, that can't be right. We're missing something. Let's see what they have to say about it. The building process. 1. Dredging 1 square kilometer of sea by building a circular dam. 2. Once dried, the terrain will possible to start preparing the basement area? Great, so
there's some Swedish company make this like, we will make a turtle, it will fly, it will not fly, it will swim across the ocean, it will be beautiful. Like they really can even like make the plan ready for it.
But apparently no. They seriously want to dredge a square kilometer of sea and then build a circular 3.5 kilometer long dam around it. Then wait for the seafloor to dry out and then build the yacht inside the circle they've created, in the sea. At this point, the Pangeos team was likely thinking, what country would be willing to even entertain the idea of building this thing near their shores? It's a tough question. They would need a country run by complete morons who, by some miracle, also...
I'm gonna say it before he says it. This feels like an idea by like Saudi Arabia, where they would eat it up immediately.
Saudi Arabia, alright. Hang on, this is a different thing now. Did we drop the Etsy?
Yeah, I was right. Oh my god.
Apparently so. I love it when multi-billion-dollar megaprojects show us contradictory plans on the same webpage. The construction of a similar sizes vessel, involves the realization of a specific shipyard/dam infrastructure that floods levitating the Terayacht when it will be launched Est 2033. Well, that was a sentence. So now they want to dig out a 600 by 650 meter dry dock on land.
Right, I can tell. If it was by Saudi Arabia, they would not wait that long. If you can get that goddamn turtle out in the ocean within 6 months, then yeah, it's already dead.
Concreted? So that would involve a 39-hectare concrete surface, and that would be separated from the sea by a 650-meter long dam. All this for a single-use dry dock to build one single ship. Yeah, economics? What's that, a new cryptocurrency? Never heard of it. So that's where the Pangeos Terayacht will be built. Hang on, are those cranes made of Lego?
It would take
no, they pulled a 3D model of a crane.
It would take like 3 years for this to like make the money back from just constructing it already.
You're supposed to turn with your hand to operate the mechanism. Hell yeah, we want to build this $8 billion mega yacht, but we can't quite tell the difference between a real crane and one made of Lego. Oh look, there's a golf cart there.
Man, with how much money it's gonna cost, they're gonna be hopeful to use Legos to save the money.
Also, I love how the scaffolding around the ship isn't connected by any ladders or stairs for the workers to use. Cool. So the Pangeos Terayacht's proposed construction. On the construction site, there are these random boxes lying around, which are apparently cement silos. What, do they want to build the Terayacht out of concrete? Apparently so. The roads inside the Terayacht do seem to be made out of concrete. Yeah, concrete. Famously useful shipbuilding material for a ship that's definitely shaped for moving around on water. It goes without saying, but such a large and heavy structure would break...
Also, I'm not no ship engineer, whatever, but that whole incentive scares me. Wouldn't it just like lead to flooding?
No visible water intake. So this mega project so far has to be the stupidest thing I've ever seen. If our currency...
Hold on, go back. Is that ship there on the left literally meant you carry the supplies? I swear to God, like that, those kind of ships are purely meant to just carry fuel and food for the passengers. That's kind of scary.
Backed up by idiocy, the Pangeos Terayacht would cause instant global hyperinflation. Let's look at what they're planning to put on this thing. As I said, it looks like they want to put concrete roads inside their ship.
Oh my God, I just realized, no person would want to live this far away from land. Then I realized, like, this would be actual heaven for Mormons. Like miles away from any coastline, where no law can change them up. That'd be heaven for them.
Narrow pools, so you'll have something to fall into at 3 a.m. on your way back from a party. In these pools, you'll be able to do SUP or stand-up paddle, and also kayaking apparently. It will be a ton of fun until you reach the end of the pool after like 4 seconds of paddling, which is too narrow for turning around. Also, should a larger wave tilt the Terayacht to the side a bit, these pools would spill over and flood the ground floor of every villa. You might have noticed that most of these residences and apartments are in the high...
What happens is a really bad storm? If you're that far away from coastline, any bad storm would just ruin the ship.
Just an extraplanetary doomsday bunker for the top 1%. Pangeos even sports a royal palace, if you can believe that. We'll get to that later. The website promises Pangeos will house 60,000 guests. So that's just the guests.
Oh, duh, that makes sense. Yeah, it would be like hotels. That makes more sense. No, that sucks, because I would see why people will go on a cruise ship, because that's like casinos and like mini shopping malls to buy whatever they want. But if the ship's already like so preoccupied with just like having neighborhoods, like mini neighborhoods, there's no way they could actually like fit in shops to make it entertaining. Like this would be the perfect hotel for people who want to like go somewhere, but they don't want to do any activities. So they book the room, they lock the goddamn door, and they just stay in there for however long the trip is. And you have to imagine, do they have like 1 week long like activities, like no trips? I mean, because what if someone wants to stay 2 days, but someone else wants to stay a week? Do they have to like bring a helicopter to go and pick them up? Because that sounds, I don't know. I shouldn't try to put logic in this goddamn idea that wasn't even made, or will be in 2033, you know, soon.
The Terayacht's main body. So if we assume that on the Pangeos Terayacht they want to put people in hotel rooms instead of shoving them in like sardines, that means instead of 60,000, Pangeos will probably be able to house a couple hundred guests, if that. The current largest cruise ship in the world, the Icon of the Seas, with its length of 364 meters, can accommodate 7,600 at the absolute maximum. And that ship is absolutely jam-packed with little cabins. On the Pangeos Terayacht, you have these big and spacious villas and a handful of cabins on 5 floors. So this thing will not accommodate 60,000, 7,600, or even 1,000 guests. Just a few hundred guests may...
You would need all the millionaires in the world to stay in that goddamn ship and pay like way too much.
Without any marked helipads. So that's reassuring. If one of them slides down the roof, it will crash right into the villas below. And those trendy little balconies inside the wall will be a lot of fun to be on once a helicopter comes around. And apparently they plan on landing helicopters inside the ship's structure too, on the tiny building, a meter away from a house.
To clip the roof and ruin it.
That the helicopter's rotors would clip off part of the house. Not to mention, if those windows are open during landing, that whole apartment would be wrecked. Wait, how come that
That's actually pretty funny. So is there like an economy to how expensive a hotel room is? Because you have to imagine the place literally next door to like, the helicopter landing pad has to be more expensive because you could wake up at like 3 a.m. from like some supply run. But if you like stayed somewhere here like far off away from it, still kind of close, it'd be more expensive because the noise would be reduced a little bit at least.
So apparently they just forgot to draw the other helipad for an $8 billion project. Putting 2 helipads in this area is an outstanding idea, meters away from residential villas. The transit concept of the Terayacht is absolutely bonkers. Helipads in front of your window, helicopters scattered on the roof, drift circuits for golf carts to tumble down, break the window below and then roll into the ocean. Oh, and a Fiat 500, ready for your 10-second commute in the morning. Do you like swimming, bathing, the feeling of water enveloping your body? On the world's largest cruise ship, the Icon of the Seas, you can experience all that in 7 different pools. That's a lot, right? Now try the Pangeos Terayacht's 150 pools. And those are just the
150?
There might be more on the
You're surrounded by water. What more do you want?
Everywhere, including in this random...
See, this tiny, like, dirty, like, dockyard right here in the center, that'd be enough to just, like, jump in and then, like, be like swallowed underwater and get like sucked in by the turbines and get shredded up.
Everywhere, including in this random dark corner at the front of the ship. What is this? The punishment zone? The goon deck? The inside of the ship also raises some worrying questions. Apparently, the water in the middle of the ship is not the ocean, but another pool that looks about 50 centimeters deep. If you sail a ship in there, you'll have scratched up the ceiling of the power room, so now your ship is out of power and filling up with water. Also, the crew will go into one of these windowless rectangular pods inside the hull, so that's promising. Should civilization collapse,
keep them locked up.
Catastrophe, rest assured
this would be like a dystopian, that sounds so gay, a dystopian capitalistic hellhole where the workers are having nice up in heaven and the crews are locked down below.
By the demand of a lot of plantations. Because really, who do you think would consider buying property on this thing? Rich people who think the world is coming to an end. The sea levels rising isn't a problem as long as you're floating on it. If this project would ever become a reality for some reason, it would immediately become a doomsday bunker for the top 1%. Yeah, that explains all those yachts all around. And those
I really can't see anyone staying here for more than is that jet? So I can't imagine anyone staying here for more than like 2 weeks. But do they have like private jets? Hold on, I swear to God. I know it's just a mock project, but how much runway can they possibly get before they like fall down to the neighborhood?
You think you'll be flying in those? Be my guest for $500 per hour in your average 4-seater. No, there would be no regular people on this thing. Nobody below a 7-figure net worth. To recap, so far we have seen a dry dock built in the sea with cranes made of Lego, a massive ship covered by suburban villas, concrete roads, 150 poles, and bearing hundreds of tons of soil for its parks. And they say it will accommodate 60,000 guests beyond the inhabitants and staff. Plus there is a single Fiat 500 on board.
They would have to like pack 10 people in one tiny room for that to work.
Dumber. But you just wait. You just wait.
God, there's only like a minute left. How can it get any dumber?
Welcome to Pangeos Unreal Estate. The Unreal Estate is a NFT crowdfunding project. By paying in cryptocurrency, it is possible to purchase virtually the selected space. This will generate an initial budget to step into a more sophisticated, augmented...
Just call it fake estate at that point.
Metaverse 2023. Selected space, will be available in the virtual scenario as your private room with your own access key. Hell yeah. Apartment VIP, a low-resolution shitty render for just 0.2 Ethereum, also known as $461.08. Royal Palace for $2,305. I knew this was a doomsday bunker for the rich. Oh no. This project is incredible. They have managed to speedrun the bingo with Mach speed. You got a horrible project for the top 1% with insane specs, completely nonsensical renders that break the laws of physics, hilarious mistakes and contradictions on proud display, and they also peddle NFTs and offer passes to the metaverse. Not gonna lie, it's pretty bold to pull out the NFT card 2 years after Dan Olson published his video about NFTs. In summary, this has to be one of the stupidest, most badly thought out projects I've seen in a while. Nothing makes sense about this train wreck whatsoever. And yet, at one point, point, this thing was all over the internet. Apparently, all you need to get your
Was like 2 years ago, come on.
soy cycle is to put out some big render that looks vaguely impressive and futuristic if you don't look at it for more than 5 seconds. But I did, unfortunately, and so here we are. Thank you for watching, and don't forget that Opera is out there for you, ready to turn you into a tech guru.
Yeah, probably. Man, he's right. Like that's something like Elon Musk would put on Twitter and be like, "Oh my God, this is the future," and he puts that gay ass arrow on the mark emoji. Like out of 100,000 people that looked at that, probably thought it was cool, but only 10 people actually believed that would work until they realized like maybe the idea of a huge ship that has horribly designed against hotel rooms maybe would not make money even at all. Like that really looks like the idea like someone came up with like back in the 1920s where they saw like it would be economical enough to actually like withstand at least a year. But at the same time, they probably saw like flying cars would happen as well. And having like helicopter propellers massive on top of your head would help you fly and get anywhere you want. But at the same time, this does look like the perfect death wish for like some billionaire on his deathbed where he doesn't have any family, he doesn't have any children, he literally has no one down his lineage to give his money, like pass on his money to, and he just wants to burn it one like horrific display. And that's how he does it, by having one huge ship in the shape of a turtle, where at best it can sail for 1 day before like it burns all the fuel and has to return, or it just gets stuck at sea. I don't know. I feel like that the odds of that is way higher than it having like a one routine to go by and actually, you know, finishing it. Plus, I can't even imagine, you know, if it did happen, how many stories there would be of like some pirates of like the coast of Somalia trying to raid it and like actually succeeding. That's another issue. You have to have like pretty high security to make sure no one raids it. I mean, like there's probably more value in robbing like a cargo ship, but if someone sees like a huge ship and a ship of turtle, like the most sci-fi design ever they've ever seen, they're gonna immediately think like there's gonna be a shit of money on it. So I wouldn't be surprised if anyone wanted to like at least have a shot at trying to rob it, or just like, I don't know, take control over it, at least for like a day, you know, having your own free city where it belongs to no government in the middle of the ocean. That sounds at least, you know, a little bit nice.